Bob's wife Anne is here, and thank you very much for having us yesterday. I really appreciate it.
It was our pleasure, Paul.
So tell me, how did Elvis and Parks start? How did this all come together?
Well, I just happened to be an Elvis fan since I was 11 years old.
Excellent.
And Bob learnt. He said he's very smart. And we bought a building in Parks that was a student hostel and decided to turn it into a restaurant. We'd just come back from America. We'd taken our kids over to Disneyland. And so we thought, I was doing catering in the clubs for our local car club. And so the kids were all getting married and this sort of thing. So I thought, wonder if you could do things in that building. And Bob had worked on it as an apprentice. So when I went home, I spoke to him and he had the keys and the plans the next morning. And so it took us a little while to be able to purchase it. They put it out for tender, didn't accept anybody. Then a little later it went out for tender, so we got it and decided to turn it into a restaurant. And the first thing we did was take down Parks and District Student Hostel. And so we had no name. And we were going to pick up some supplies, the vanities and things, I think, for the toilets. And Bob said, isn't it a pity we never got to Graceland when we went to America? And I, yeah, it is a shame. And he said, how would that be for a name? Better than Bob and Anne's.
So how does it grow to the festival, though? What did you do? Did you get a bunch of impersonators in? How did it work?
Well, that was in 1980 we bought it. And in 1992, we had been doing for quite a few years a party at the end of June for the family of the local editor of paper, a rule. And his family were all Elvis crazy.
Who isn't?
Well, that's exactly right.
I love it.
Even the little kids all knew the words to all the Elvis songs. And they used to party and dance all night. And then after a couple of years of this, everybody had gone home and Bob and Rule were having a glass of red wine. And I was ready to go home. So I came up with my cup of tea and said, let's go home. And Bob said, Rule thinks we should have an Elvis week. Oh. Okay, so we sat down and had a bit of a discussion about it. And they said, we thought we'd do it in August. It's now the end of June. I said, no, we can't do anything in 6 weeks. And why don't we go January for his birthday?
Great idea.
And they said, great. So Rule was very good with his paper for our local people. And somehow a little tiny bit got put in the NRMA magazine.
Yeah, the
and
Open
that got
Road.
us a few out of town, 2 little lines.
Yeah.
And so it all started from there.
And it's just, I mean, to the extent now where public art on the building is Elvis. I mean, I've been very lucky, very blessed to actually go to Graceland. I'm not joking. There is more public recognition in the streets of Parks than there are actually in Memphis, because Memphis is a town famous for a whole lot of other things, and they, you know, the blues over here and this record's there and that record's there. But to see on the side of a coffee shop, to see on the side of a pub, to see everyone embrace it, because this thing surges in January, 3 times the average population, which is normally about 12,000.
Yes.
So do they...
So 25,000 we get in, plus our... And that's only, I don't know.
Where do they sleep?
How they... Well...
Or do people just bill it an Elvis in their house?
They
you
do.
all have to get Elvis to sleep beside you one night or something.
Yes, something like that.
You don't know you volunteered, your next door neighbour. Oh, OK, there he is. He's just popping up anywhere. That's Parks. Elvis is just around the corner.
It goes everywhere, Forbes, Condo, Cowra, Orange, Dubbo, and those towns bus their people over.
Yeah.
So they then get them to do their touristy things.
Well, I think it's beautiful what you and Bob have done for Parks, the idea that's just grown into this iconic thing. And believe it or not, I think the XPT tickets go on sale in and around this time of the year.
They've gone on sale.
Already sold out, probably.
I don't know about
All right,
that.
we'll double check. All right, thank you very much for the chat and thank you for everything you do when it comes to Elvis.
Thank you.
Good on you. Thank you, darling.